Hello everybody, this is Dino GTO, and this is just going to be my quick overview of the mini marathon for the Deckermax that was recently announced on EU and Asia. I suspect it will be coming to NA as well, but at the time of making this video it has not yet been announced. Now, older players may recognise an event very similar to this came around last year, and looking back on that event from last year, I didn't realise how much more difficult it was than this event. It was less XP overall. This one's 260,000 XP, I believe. You need to earn over the course of 13 separate days. Whereas this one here was 4 days to earn 200,000 XP. 200,000 XP over the course of 4 days. Sure enough, it was a times 5 weekend. But if you've played during a times 3 weekend on World of Tanks, and during a normal times 5 weekend when there wasn't a free tank plan, you know how bad some of the teams can be. When there's a free tank that you can just get that without actually having to pay for, you can just imagine how bad the gameplay was. It was abysmal. I remember, looking back on this event, I did it. It was so much more difficult than the one is right now, than this one here. This one here is spread across 13 days. You need to complete this mission here 13 times. So you need to earn 20,000 XP on 13 separate days. And each day you're going to get a larger per kit. And once you completed it 5 times, you get 5 large per kits and some personal reserves. And once you complete it 10 times, you get a free day premium and some more personal reserves. These are all once per account. And this one here allows you to do it once per day, which means you're basically getting 10,000 credits if you don't use these things free every time you beat it. And these are just bonuses. Now, one big thing about this here is it may look extremely difficult, but 20,000 XP really isn't that much, especially since I believe this actually adds on experience you've earned from like daily doubles and stuff in premium account. That is added on, as far as I can work out. That is a pretty big bonus. Because I think this would just make it so much easier to actually beat this mission, because if daily doubles weren't added on, this would take, I think, probably about 30 to 40 games for a lot of people, because not everybody can get 1,000 XP a game. I can't do that there. I typically average about 650. I do have my moments, but I'm not the greatest player ever. I won't even try and lie and say that there. But yeah, this overall I would say an easier mission. And also something nice I've noticed that Wargaming have changed about their interface is now you can mouse over this and you'll get a wee information panel about the machine. It'll give you some of the details like the hit points 550, specific power, aiming time, dispersion, shell damage, damage per minute, standard pen, and premium pen. And whenever you click on learn more, they've changed this interface totally. Like, from what I remember this interface being this time last year, this interface was ugly. It was not nice to look at, and they've totally changed it and made it so much nicer to look at. And they've honestly made it a lot easier to like navigate through and understand as well. And it shows you almost all of the stats. Sure enough, Tanks GG still shows you more stats, like it will show you the shell velocity and the ground resistances and the aiming stats, like the soft stats of the aiming. But this is a nice step in the right direction for like how they've decided to change it. Just going to a quick little overview of the machine and just give some opinions. I have one of these. I did the mission last year, as I said, and honestly, I would say this thing's definitely worth getting if you have the time to put towards this mission. First of all, it does 300 damage a shot, as I said a couple of minutes ago. Has 170 pen, well 169, but 170 years makes no difference, which is almost exactly the same as the Su 100 at tier 6, which is, I think, third highest on pen. So this is pretty damn close. Also, I'm not counting the 90 mil on the ARL V39 or the Churchill gun carriage, because those two tanks are, you never see those, and it's not really realistic to take those into account. So just ignoring those two. But dispersion value, pretty damn nice. 0.35, that's really accurate for tier 6. You don't see that kind of accuracy at this tier very often. Shell cost is kind of high, 600, but you're doing 300 damage a shot, which is really nice. Shell velocity is a wee bit slow, but it's faster than the short 88 that the VK3601 gets, the Jagdpanzer 4 gets, just as a couple examples. And if you want to get an idea of what the shell speed is like, just play the M4 Sherman. They have almost, that thing's 76mm is almost identical in shell speed. So that'll give you an idea. But here's the party pace of this machine. 15 degrees of gun depression. 15. This thing can work ridgelines like nothing else in the game. It's absolutely amazing. But this also comes with a pretty poor power to weight ratio. Top speed's decent, but you won't reach that top speed very often. You're typically going to be motoring around at about 30 kilometers an hour. And yeah, that's not bad, not too bad at all. Like, but it's a wee bit sluggish. But the gun, combined with the amazing gun depression and honestly workable gun constraints, this is overall a pretty good tank. Although one thing I do need to say is the health and the modules have very the overall health of your machine and the module healths are pretty low, so you may take some serious damage if somebody hits you into your superstructure. So you have to try and avoid being spotted at all times. This thing is a glass cannon. It is basically, if you look at the Grill 15 line, it's basically that line's counterpart. That line's premium counterpart, as you can see from the Panzer. No, it's not called Panzer. It's not called that anymore. The Sturm Emil is basically this thing's big brother. So you need to just look at that there. Although this thing is better than the Sturm Emil, I would say. It's got the same 105mm gun the Sturm Emil grinds with to get the 128, but a tier lower, which is nice. The highest thing this thing can be is tier 8, which is a big bonus, because after grinding the Sturm myself, using that 105 versus tier 9s was not fun, but using it versus tier 8s, I never really had much of an issue. Also, big bonus about this thing here came before the Tank Destroyer view range nerf, or this thing was exempt from the Tank Destroyer view range nerf because it's premium and they didn't want to nerf for premium, so this thing kept the 400-meter view range that a lot of other Tank Destroyers lost whenever the view range nerf happened. So that's a huge bonus for this thing, because there are not many, I don't think there are any other Tank Destroyers at this tier, or anything at this tier, that actually has a 400-meter view range. So yeah, that's a pretty damn big bonus. Also, if you have a rammer on this thing, it has an 8-second reload with 300 damage a shot. That's pretty damn nice, if you ask me. Like, that, this tank is definitely worth getting if you have the time to put towards getting it. And I also checked what it would cost for you to buy this machine, just normally out of the premium, out of the in-game shop, when it's not on discount. Normally it costs £11 or roughly €13. So you're saving yourself that amount of money. I would say this thing is definitely worth getting, especially considering this mission is so much easier than last year's mission. Yeah, I would just say go for it if you can. Just adding this on at the end here. I just cut off the end of this because I rambled for too long. Going to do a review on this. We'll probably have that by the end of the week. And thanks for watching, and see you in the next one.